Hi everybody, it's Peter Zellums, Griniflix Adventure 8. Welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be what worked and what didn't work for the Troopy. I am back from my trip, 6 weeks, 15,000 kilometers. And yeah, I'm still downloading all the photos and the videos of my Central Australia trip. So let's go through some of the things that worked and some of the things that didn't work and what sort of improvements can be done for the next big trip. I did redesign the Troopy from a 5-seater into a 2-seater and just reconfigured it. There will be a video link also in this video. The number one most important thing for me with this Troopy was that easy accommodation. As a 2-seater, there are a couple of options that are available for the Troopy. Either you do a rooftop conversion or you basically have a rooftop tent. Of course you can have a swag as well, but let's assume you're going to have some accommodation on the car. So one of the best inventions as far as I'm concerned for this Troopy is having the ladder to get on top of the roof. And not only the ladder, but also that there's enough space there for a platform, so you can basically get on top of the roof, get yourself organized before you go into the tent, and in the morning when you come out of the tent. This is the platform. So there's my tent, and I've got my tire there and also a toolbox, so I can just sit here very relaxed and then access the latch. So undo that one, undo that one, and that's as simple as it is. And then it's just a matter of setting up the tent, which I'll do now. So you can see the importance of having the platform here. Normally with rooftop tents you would be standing on the ladder and out in the elements and then trying to crawl in. So here, by having the platform, you can get rid of your shoes, make yourself comfortable and organized before you get into the tent. And also then when pulling the tent down, it's really easy as well. Get everything organized, put everything out on the platform, your bags and everything, and then put down the tent without any complications whatsoever. Also in the morning, particularly on really frosty nights, there is a lot of dew around the place. So even having this little shelter here means that the toolbox seat here, one side is completely dry and the other side is a bit wet because of the dew. All these little things like that. So the other thing about rooftop tents, normally the ladder is inside the rooftop tent, so somehow you have to unclip it, lift it up, get the ladder out. That whole process is so cumbersome. So to be able to have the ladder on the side of the car with those little pins and latches, so it's rattle proof regardless of how much corrugation you have on those roads in Central Australia. Easy access to the ladder, quickly climb up onto the roof, unclip, set up the tent. From stopping to actually setting up the tent, I think it takes less than a couple of minutes. That's how quick it is. And even pulling down the tent takes maybe a minute longer, so you can leave the sleeping bags inside the tent and put down the tent. So good. So that would have to be one of the best things about this setup right now, having this rooftop tent with a platform next to the rooftop tent with the ladder that can be accessed from the outside quickly and easily. And I have noticed that some four-wheel drive companies in Western Australia that are setting up long wheelbase twin cab Land Cruisers with rooftop tents, and then also designing so there's a platform next to the rooftop tent so you can get onto the platform, get yourself organized in and out of the tent. That is one of the best things about this Troopy setup. Yeah, so the tent and being able to set up your tent as quickly as possible must be the most important thing, I think, with regards to camping. If that's not easy, you're not going to go camping. camping, four-wheel driving, however, whatever setup you have. So that was definitely the number one most important thing for me with this Troopy, was that easy accommodation. The next most important thing is lighting, because inevitably you need light. Doesn't matter where you are, at night, during the day. And so I've put lights everywhere on my Troopy. So one thing I do have, which is really useful, is setting up some camp lights. And you can see the lights here being daylight. It's not very bright, but at night time this is so good. Here at the back as well, and also on the other side. So that means this then shrouds the entire car with light. So light all around, doesn't matter what's on the ground, you don't go tripping over things or whatever. Those lights also, I have an option to actually turn on lights that are in the engine bay as well, so that if you need to work on your car and your engine, check oil or anything like that at night time, you've got lots of light around the bonnet as well. That's on the outside, but then there's also on the inside. Well, the advantage of having a two-seater Troopy is that you can get in from the front and get into the back, and you've still got all this space and you're out of the environment. So I've got lights everywhere, lights here at the back, I've got lights here, got lights everywhere, and these are all adjustable lights as well. No shortage of light. Okay, so lighting, having lots of lighting, crucial. So that's another top idea. As I'm going through all the things that work well and don't work well, all I have to think about is basically what is the camping process, and I'll sort of just go through the different items as if I was camping and setting up tent or pulling down tent or on the road, and then something happens and you need to do things to fix whatever the problem is or the issue before you continue on your journey again. The next thing is I've got these sun protector visors which I've cut up and put little magnets on here, so I can just sort of put these sun visors up on any of the windows as well. That gives you privacy, but in the hot Australian conditions it also blocks a lot of the sun out as well. So I can have them wherever I like. So I've got cameras at the back of the car, so I don't really need to have these windows. I do leave this passenger window open. I don't usually cover that. If I was sleeping inside the car, which is an option now that it's a two-seater, then I can put up some extra the sun shields around there to give me privacy at night time. So it was a 5-seater Troopy that I had before, which I then reconfigured into a 2-seater Troopy, which meant I got rid of the back seat and also got rid of the cargo barrier. So with the 5-seater I had all this kitchen cabinetry before at the back, so you actually, when you stopped, you had to open up back doors, create some shelter, unpack everything, and then work from outside to do anything. Now you can still do that right now, but the advantage of this 2-seater arrangement is that in extreme conditions, really cold, really windy, really wet, really hot, lots of flies, where you're struggling to be outside to organize anything, to be able to come back inside the car and organize everything from inside makes a big difference. And I would say out of, say, let's just say there was about 30 camps in this last trip, there must have been at least half, if not 2/3 of the situations where I was inside preparing the meals, or coffee break, or just a rest or whatever, and 1/3 was done outside when the conditions were ideal. No flies, not too hot, not too cold, not wet. And that creates a problem, because if you've got any sort of drawers that are mounted on the side of the vehicle, unless there is some sort of retaining process when you get into really rough tracks, particularly like the Simpson Desert where you've got yeehaw bumps and the car's going from side to side, anything that's mounted on the side with drawers is going to open up. So you need some sort of system by which to lock all the drawers in place, but you still want to have easy access when you need it. So this was my little invention for these plastic drawers, which are available on eBay or any discount supermarket store that sells storage devices. And I just improvised here. These are just aluminium rods with some elastic band here and a little ball here. I had to just sort of drill a hole in the cabin, in the plastic here, so I can just put that in there and that locks that in place. But basically it just comes like that. That's open, and I do the same on the other side. And then basically I've got rid of the locking rods, and then I can have access to all the drawers really easily. Everything has to be tied down inside the car, so I've got tie down points everywhere. So all these containers here I've tied down. I've put extra points. I've put extra tie down points everywhere, wherever I can. Down here, and then down there, and also behind here. Oops. More brackets down there. So I've got tie down points everywhere, and that way I can put straps wherever I need them, and that holds everything in place. Again, if you go out into the Simpson Desert where you've got yeehaw bumps and you're going over sand dunes, you will know that that is really important, so everything stays in place. So when it comes to packing, even in places like this, you want to make sure that you pack everything tight. Put tea towels or towels if you've got any drawers that are partially empty, and that way you don't have all the contents of the drawer going bang and bang and bang. So everything is strapped down. That's key point. Have a lot of tie down points, have a lot of straps. Try not to use octopus straps because they stretch, but have fabric straps that do have, you know, little clasps so that you can actually tension the strap and make it nice and tight. One of the most important things that I've changed with all my camping is I've gone for induction cooking now. And if you're going to go for induction cooking, the reason for that is there's no fuel as in gas or methylated spirits or diesel for burning. So if you want to cook inside, you don't have any fumes at all. You might have some little bit of moisture and water vapor from cooking, but no accidents, no spills. So induction cooking is a really crucial thing, I think, for camping these days. And obviously you have to set up your car for that, which then leads me on to, well, how do you do induction cooking? Well, you need some sort of power supply, 240 volts, and this is where power stations, this is the next big changer, I think, in camping, is having a portable power station, a lithium power station that has enough charge to convert 12 volts into 240 volts to run 240 volt devices like induction cooking. And what I use is an iTECHWORLD power station at 1300p. So this is the iTECHWORLD 1300p. There is a newer version out right now, so if you are shopping you'll get the newer version rather than the older version here. Heaps of power for running my induction cooking, but also my espresso machine for coffee as well. That's also really important. So that just sits in the back, and that can be accessed either if I'm cooking from the outside or if I'm actually cooking inside as well. iTECHWORLD is actually an affiliate company with Adventure 8. Now what that means is that they've been really good to give me they give me a discount code which I can give to my viewers and subscribers. That's you. So if you need power systems for your four-wheel drive or camping or whatever, now that's either power stations or actually you're setting up 240 volts or 12 volt power systems within your camping environment. They've got basically everything from individual components if you're designing it yourself to portable power stations. So I mainly use the portable power stations because they're so convenient. If I'm setting up a new camper, then I might have lithium batteries and have a DC-DC converter. they've got all these components as well. So if you use the Adventure 8 discount code, you get an extra 5% on top of whatever discounts are being run by iTECHWORLD. You just go to their website, itechworld.com.au, and shop for what you want. Go to checkout. At checkout, you'll see a discount or a coupon code section there. Put in Adventure 8 and you'll see whatever extra discount you get as part of that process. Hope you can take advantage of that discount, because obviously you can save a lot of money that way, and that also helps the channel as well, so I really appreciate that. If you want some other discounts, I'm associated with a number of companies. If you go to adventure8.com.au, I have a shopping discount tab on my website, and then you'll be able to see all the different companies that I'm associated with and what sort of discounts you can get. Hope that helps you. I've decided to go for jerry cans for my water. So I've got a 20-litre container there, another one there, and then a third one down there. So that's 60 litres of water that I'm carrying. And now what that means is if one container is contaminated with not so good water, then at least I know which ones are contaminated, which ones are used for washing, which ones are used for drinking as well. They are set up with an electric pump and a hose to one container, so that I've got water on tap whenever I need it. And it's just basically an electric switch. I put it there, flip the switch, and I've got water whenever I need it. Now that is really convenient when I'm actually cooking from the outside. When I'm inside, I can still access to it, but it is sort of a little bit awkward. So if I was to make an improvement there, I would have maybe 2 taps, one on the inside somewhere, and then one at the back here as well. So I've got a choice of where I want the water. That would have to be the next design, having the inside tap. But anyway, at least I've got water when I need it. 2 fridges is the next great idea. I've got an Engel 40-litre fridge there, which can be fridge freezer. It could be either a fridge or a freezer. You can set the temperature, anything between -18 and anything above that, obviously. So depending, and it's one of these chest freezers where you lift up the lid and everything goes inside. The advantage of that is that every time you open the lid, you don't lose all your cold. With those front door opening fridges, where every time you open the door you lose all the cold. And a chest freezer or fridge, I think, is the way to go for camping. I do actually have a smaller fridge here as well, which is just I think a 15-litre fridge, and that's for drinks. So I just keep drinks in this one. That can be also made into a freezer if necessary, so it goes down to -18. That's just an Oz Trail 15-litre fridge. And then that I can access cold drinks, well, the passenger can access cold drinks while we're driving, and that's also very nice. Now the advantage of 2 fridges is that in the event that something goes wrong during your trip, you've got some inbuilt redundancy. If one fridge fails, then at least you've got access to another fridge, which then can save the journey and still make it really good. Inevitably you're going to have luggage. What I found the best for luggage and camping is to have tunnel bags, and the best size I think for your clothes is the 60-litre tunnel bags. They come in varying sizes, but 85 is too big, you can't handle it. 40 is too small, so 60 litres is the magic number. And per person, my wife and I were travelling, so I'd have one tunnel bag 60 litres, and Leah, my wife, would have another tunnel bag 60 litres. And when you throw in luggage, it goes into all these spaces here. So if you want to get access to the kitchen and you want to cook, well then the luggage is in the way. That was one of the limiting factors in this whole design. What I found with those tunnel bags is that you have to stack them, so that you leave a gap here between the kitchen and also your bags. So the bags are basically stacked here on the side, and then they also strap down so they don't move, and then you can get access to the back of the car still from inside. and you get access to the fridge from inside. You get access to all the kitchen items, basically leaving this space free to be able to have access. If you've got stuff on the floor here, then you have to crawl over it, which is my camera gear basically. So that wasn't perfect, but at least it was manageable. So when we stopped for coffee, Leah would stay in the front seat. I would crawl over here, get access to my coffee machine and my percolator, get access to my induction cooking, so I can set up the induction cooking here, plug it into the iTECHWORLD power station, and then we basically create a cup of coffee within 5 or 10 minutes, actually probably closer to 5 minutes, and have our coffee within a 10-minute break or 15-minute break, which is quicker than trying to go to a roadhouse and ordering a coffee and struggling with the crowds or someone that's making a really shit coffee. So that was a great thing to do. But so trying to organize your luggage is one of the challenges in a limited space, but I think that's going to be the problem with any setup that you have, regardless how big your van is or how big your four-wheel drive is, or your caravan or camper trailer, because whatever space you have, you're going to fill it up with stuff. So advice there is travel light, and that way you're not trying to shift things around. Probably the last one I should mention is, particularly for this last trip, where I end up burning my hand really badly on a campfire. There, I did make some quick videos about that, so there might be some. Just go back into my videos, you'll find them there. When I eventually make the trip video, there will be a lot of discussion about that as well. But the key point there was access to first aid. You want to make sure you can access your first aid in an emergency, because that is really important. I did make up a couple of emergency first aid kits, and I just put that really in a simple place to get to, which is basically behind the passenger seat. And I use this a lot in my travels in this last trip. So access to your first aid kit is important, easy access. And the other key aspect of that is making sure that you have some decent stuff in your first aid kit for emergencies. Cuts and burns are probably the thing that you'll be, and headaches. Cuts, burns, headaches are probably the three things that you'll be addressing in your first aid all the time on any trip. Making sure you've got paracetamol as well as ibuprofen are probably the two type of headache tablets that you should carry. One, paracetamol is good for reducing pain, but it doesn't address inflammation. That's where ibuprofen is really important. And then antiseptic cream and lots of band-aids of different sizes. I went through hundreds of band-aids to address my burns for my hand. But that will be another video. I think that deserves another video. I'm gonna have to make two videos because already this video is going on, but I think probably they were really the major things that really mattered for this trip. All right, I think we'll call it a wrap for this video. Again, I hope you have enjoyed the video. If you have, then give it a thumbs up. That's how you support the video. If it's the first time to my channel, you haven't already subscribed, then press subscribe, press notifications, you'll be notified when the next video is out. If you want to take advantage of all the discounts that are available through the affiliate companies that I work with, then go to adventure8.com.au shopping tab, and then you'll see all the discounts. Again, iTECHWORLD is one of my major sponsors and affiliate companies that I work with, and use the Adventure8 discount code and you'll get an extra 5% on top of your purchases at itechworld.com.au. Okay, thanks again for watching. Look forward to seeing you on the next video. There will be a follow-up video with regards to some of the good ideas, bad ideas, whatever video. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks. Cheers. Bye.